Up in the box, sports cards fans. Welcome back to another episode of Batter Up with Brett and John. What is going on tonight, John?
Oh, not much, Brett. I am heartbroken this afternoon. I watched the Kings and the Warriors game. Uh, the Kings had a chance to win it at the buzzer. They had 10 seconds to dribble up and get 2 points. Double team Fox. Harrison Barnes misses an open three, back iron. What are you going to do? They lose by one. Close game. What a game, though. Fox is emerging as a superstar. Other than that, having a pretty good weekend. I wish the weather was better. Uh, I cut my grass again today for the fourth time. Did you cut your grass today?
No, I probably got about another week. It's still kind of cool and it's not bad yet. So about another week. The buds have come out on the tree, so we're getting close. I got the lawnmower blade sharpened and we are
Nice.
ready to rock. But yeah, man, I was watching the Cubs this weekend, Cubs Dodgers. The Dodgers beat up on my Cubbies a little bit, but man, James Outman is just an absolute beast. He's crushing it. 7 bombs on the year. Probably the front runner for NL Rookie of the Year as of now. That could change. It's early.
It's very
Muncy
early.
hitting bombs, but the games have been competitive. I also watched my boy Kyle Busch steal Talladega today. He should not have won that race, but that's restrictor plate racing.
Yeah. I tell you what, speaking of racing, it's literally a week away from the month of May. Month of May in Indianapolis is like it's like a holiday. It's like Christmas every day. I'm a huge IndyCar fan. Everybody knows my channel. I do my IndyCar picks. I can't wait to pick this year's 500. But yeah, you're gonna have to come down here one year for that. Bring Tracker with. We got plenty of room. You can stay with us. Trust me, it's a bucket list item. Even if you're not an IndyCar fan, you got to go to the Indy
Yeah,
500
oh yeah.
once in your life. It's a fun event.
I'm trying to think of when I went to the Brickyard. It's been a while. It's been quite a while. It
Oh,
was
so
back when
you've been to
I,
the
I
Speedway then?
I've been to the Speedway for a NASCAR race. I was probably just out of college. It's been a while,
Wow. Okay.
so it was cool. But I've never been there for an IndyCar race. Those cars are just a different beast, man. They're so fast.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wonder how many. I wonder how many people that watch you like racing. I know there's a lot more people that got into F1 with the card craze.
That's true. That's true. Another thing I can't wait for. Speaking of racing, I can't wait for that Las Vegas Grand Prix this year. Oh man, we were there in January and February. They had just started the paddock, like the little pit suite thing, and they had a lot of work to do. They started repaving the roads this week or like the week before, and they got a 6 month project here to do roads. That's gonna be so much fun. I can't wait for that race. I'm not like a giant F1 fan, but that's just a cool event.
That'll be sick to go to. It's a going. I know a lot of people don't get into racing because they don't like watching on TV. But once you've been to a race in person, you start to understand. Like you think they're just dudes out there making laps. They're insane. Those cars.
Oh
You
yeah,
can't describe it. You just can't describe it
you
unless you've been
can't.
there in person.
One thing I would say about NASCAR, you cannot describe how loud those cars are when all are on the track until you're there in person. It's so loud. It's like
It
deafening.
it is.
I mean,
It is.
it's like a thunder. It's just it hits you and like you feel it, right? But
Yeah, it's crazy. It is like thunder. I had never been to a restrictor plate track, and then I was still in college too. Went down to Talladega right after finals were done with one of my friends. Slept in my old Camry that my parents owned, and they come around the first time, and I had been to Michigan Speedway, which is a big speedway, but man, it was rumbling. It was like literally thunder coming through. It was fun, but let's get on some baseball,
let's get
man.
on some sports card talks. That's what we're all
I,
here for. Not that we
I
don't
tell
like
you what,
racing from now and again, but it is the
I've seen
month
it.
of May. We had to start with that. So
Yeah, I love it. Um, had some people in the comment section talk about players and teams, dude. I've watched more baseball already this year than I watched the entire season last year. There's so many good stories from teams, and I can't remember a time when there's so many young players, not only young players, but also stars that are just hitting bombs, more stolen bases, more hits. I don't have any of the data to prove it, but the batting averages have to be up. The way more stolen bases this year. It's
Hmm.
been fun to watch. Some names that are just kind of sticking out to me just because I just watched the Cubs Dodgers series. James Outman for the Dodgers, looking awesome. Muncy hitting bombs, leading the league. Nico Horner's not being talked about much. The dude has become an awesome leadoff hitter for the Cubs.
You know,
Um,
I made a video on my channel way back months ago talking about guys that I thought. I said the title of the video was "Can Defensive War Predict a Breakout Season?" Right? Because defensive war is like steady Eddie. Guys that are good defensively, they're going to be good defensively by and large. It's not like they forget how to play, right? Nico Horner was on that list because his defensive war is pretty solid. So if he could ever pick it up offensively, he'd be a really good player.
he's been a good player. Cubs also played the Mariners, and Jared Kelnick is just killing it. I
He,
mean, killing it.
he is. That
He looks like a ball player,
he,
offensively and defensively.
he is stroking it. He's swinging so free right now. I've watched a couple of highlights of him. This is what people wanted. This is what people thought they were getting when he was 21 or 22. He's only 23. Everybody be so down on him. It's like, hello, this guy's only 23. He's still really young. Like it's
He
great
is. Somebody
to see.
just Dave just said his 2021 products a goodbye. I'm telling you, I have a case of 21 update. I'm gonna open the whole case, but I'm kind of prioritizing some 2022 stuff with the special. But I want to go back and open that up and see if I can pull some stuff from 2021 update because that price is. We talked about this last episode. A case of that stuff is super cheap.
And it's not
I
going up.
mean,
You know, the funny thing is Striker talks about products. You know, he talked a little bit about 2022 Bowman today during one of his live breaks. He's talked about the UK edition, but one thing he hasn't touched on lately, and I hope he really doesn't for a while, 2021 product. It's dirt cheap across the board, especially update. Less than $50 a box for hobby.
it's amazing.
That's so cheap. And the quality
Guys,
control was pretty good.
you can go out and get 5 boxes of 2021 update compared to one hobby of Bowman this year. I mean, that's I'm considering firing away on another case right now because it's so cheap.
I would look at it this way. You can buy a case of 2021 update hobby for the same price of a 2023 Bowman Jumbo.
Yeah, exactly.
One box is the same as a case. That's how
it's
cheap
crazy.
it is. And we know update was printed pretty moderately this year that everybody liked, right? Update was printed last 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's even better of a product. I want to go back and watch a few videos opened of how many hits you got per hobby box. I like you. I wouldn't mind going back and buying some of that by the case. I've been doing a lot of selling. I've got some money now that I can buy a case confidently, either sit on it or open it and have a heck of a lot of fun. I don't think it's a bad idea.
I mean, for $600, you can do one box each day for 12 days, and that's affordable. I mean, some people don't have the $600 budget for that, but in this day and age, $600 doesn't get you a whole lot. You know, Prism basketball. What's a Prism basketball hobby box this year? Probably right. I don't know. I didn't look.
Prism basketball boxes right now are about $550, $575. So again, right about the same price as a sealed case of 2021
21 update. Yeah. Same thing with football. They were $650. I mean, mega boxes of basketball were on Target for $60. a, a mega box of basketball, Prism basketball, with literally just a few no numbered cards. You might get a silver or a red or a green, and that was $60. Or you can go get a 21 update for $50.
Yeah,
Crazy.
it's crazy. When that product was first hitting the market, I would almost love to even think about maybe a sealed hanger box case too. The hanger
Yeah,
boxes were
wonder what
loaded.
those are going for.
I remember sitting on like 16 of those. And when my channel first started, I did a bunch of box battle like videos that probably got like 10 views. Go back and watch those. I pulled a camo out of one of the hanger boxes. It was a number 1 out of 25. Pretty good rookie. But the hanger boxes, from what I remember, the one thing I didn't like was the chrome inserts, was like the 92 throwback. It was really an ugly looking card, but pulling hits was pretty good. The odds were really good. From what I remember, pulling low numbered stuff was pretty easy. I think out of the 16 boxes I opened, I got a numbered card in almost every box.
It's awesome. Before we go on to some product, a couple other names that kind of stuck out. Brandon Marsh, 364 bombs, playing well.
Mm-hmm.
Big Meat Pete, 10 home runs. I mean, there's a lot of the big names who are playing well, and a lot of the recent rookies who are also playing well, which is incredible. I mean, Jordan Alvarez. Then you start getting into the team aspect. I still think the biggest surprise to me is the
Brewers.
Pirates. The Pirates are winning the division, which is crazy. The Brewers are they got such good pitching that they
Yeah,
can
they're
stick
going
in
to
it.
be. They don't have great hitting, but their pitching keeps them in every game. So
But are the Pirates going to stick in there? I mean, the
I don't.
Rays.
That's a great point. The Pirates, I watched them live in person, and they beat the Red Sox that night. And I thought, this is a much different team than the last couple of years. They actually looked like a fairly complete team. They got McCutchen back. They got some decent bats. Brian
McCutchen's
Reynolds
looking
was playing
amazing.
really good, and all they needed was guys like Hayes and O'Neal Cruz. But O'Neal Cruz is out. But Rodolfo Castro's right there. He's playing really well. I don't know that they'll hang in there for the long haul, but it's good to see the Pirates be at least serviceable again versus like the last couple of years where they, at this point in the year, they'd probably have 5 wins.
Dude, they've won 7 in a row. They're leading the division. You got the Rays, who are just unbeatable. They just swept the White Sox. Poor White Sox. I know I have a lot of White Sox friends being around Chicago. You gotta fire Rick Hahn, the GM. That terrible. They made no offseason moves. I mean, I know it's early; they could change around, but it ain't looking good. Tony La Russa was an awful hire, and they had to fire him. And
And
how
then
about the Orioles?
Oh, the Orioles, yeah, that's another good one. Good point on them. Yeah, I haven't paid too much attention to the AL, but I also saw the Diamondbacks were winning their division too.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the Dodgers are going to be right there, and the Giants kind of got off to a slow start. Padres probably got off to an okay start, but it's way early. They do not hand out the trophy in April. We know that for sure.
No, you can you
you
can't win it in April, but you
can't
cannot
lose
play
it
your way out of it.
either.
You can play your way out if you really stink.
If you really stink in April, you can find yourself 10 games back. But
there's a few teams that have really stunk.
But yeah, and a couple guys for the Blue Jays playing really well. The bats for the Blue Jays, they changed up the park a little bit. Matt Chapman's having a really good season. Dalton Varsho had a couple good weeks.
Another team I have not seen play at all is the Rangers. They're leading the West, and they spent a lot of money in the offseason.
Yeah, that's right.
They're 14-7, and they're leading that division right now by a couple games over the Astros. Again, I haven't seen them play. That's one team that hasn't been on TV when I've been watching, and I've been watching it. If I'm not watching like a card break, I might have a game muted on MLB Network, or whatever station I can find game on. But I just haven't run across them.
Yeah,
man, lots of good stories.
Definitely. And I think the pace of play makes a lot of difference when it comes to the enjoyment of watching it. Now that the NBA season's over, maybe I'll get myself knock on wood. I don't know if my wife will let me, but we'll see. I had the league pass. Maybe I'll get the MLB, whatever their equivalent of the league pass is. Maybe I get a special by waiting a little bit. I don't want to watch a lot of baseball games because usually that sucks up a lot of time. But at 2 hours and 30 minutes per game, not so bad. I wouldn't watch it every night, but yeah, maybe. It'd be nice to watch the Brewers every once in a while.
Man, the games are flying. It makes it more enjoyable too. I didn't have this on my list, but I also caught Trevor Bauer's YouTube video of his first game played over in Japan. Pretty cool. If you haven't checked out Trevor Bauer's channel, he's got some good stuff, and it's interesting seeing the insanity of baseball over in Japan and how many people and how much the Japanese love baseball there. It's pretty incredible.
We are woefully behind on chat. I just want to give a couple shout outs to everybody.
Yeah, man. We got a lot of people.
You are Chris C, always a regular. Lucky Peter, always a regular. Shiloh, carddeal.com. Dan, Ziggy. Hey, man. How's it going? Really like your video on Fanatics this morning. Hangers are bangers. Vino Chris. KC was here. I saw that. Rooster's here. Chris, guys, you guys all know who you are. You're Brett. These are your regulars. They're not my regulars, but let's shout them all out.
Yeah, man. So before we get to baseball product, I don't remember if we talked about this much last week, but dude, that Prism Monopoly has been absolutely bonkers on Facebook groups and YouTube videos, and it might be one of the hottest basketball retail products to come out since 2019. Prism basketball. I can't remember a release that's any hotter than the Monopoly is right now.
No, you're right. I mean, because they're all tied to Panini products. I can't think of many products that were like, ooh, retail, we got to have this. I mean, Optic, the Zion year with Prism and Optic with the Ja and RJ Barrett and Tyler Hero at the time was hot. But then LaMelo Ball was okay and Anthony Edwards, but then it really cooled off a lot because the QC's been going downhill. I mean, heck, they put Prism up on Target's website and neither product sold out. And it's like 4 or 5 days later. They're going to sit up there for weeks. It's crazy how times change. I've seen a couple videos of those things open. The QC is, it's okay. The boxes are a little bit easier to hit some good cards because I don't think they made as much of it. But you're right. Monopoly, I mean, I can't think of a single basketball product in a long, long time that was that hot. And I opened 2 booster boxes in one of the games. The best card we hit was probably a De'Aaron Fox, the Icons logo. We hit that out of the game box. And then we hit a Don't Pass Go or whatever Bradley Beal card. It's a cool looking card. I mean, they're just cool looking parallels. It's funny because Monopoly starts it, right? But then it'll never end. They're going to find another way to do a collab with something else. And the next thing you know, they have some other icon on the card. They just want to make more. I mean, it's all marketing. Yeah. So
whoever came up with it, I'm a huge board game guy too.
Well, they already did Funko Prisms, right? But then they'll do something else like that.
I'm a big board game guy. I've always loved, board and dice games, whether it's
I want to see
Monopoly, Yahtzee, Risk.
Clue.
I got a whole closet full of board games.
I want to see him collab with the game Clue. I want to see like the candlestick card.
The game of global domination, some Risk.
Yeah.
But also stick around, guys.
Oh yeah, we got a new box battle. We got a series of Stadium Club Chrome coming up because we both ran out of update, or I did. I got hanger boxes left.
I've got hobby box of update, but that's it, and I don't really want to open them.
I don't either.
To be quite honest with you,
I've got some jumbos and some hobby, and I got like a dozen hanger boxes left that I'm sitting on. So everything else is gone. And so hopefully these deliver.
Real quick, John, you a board dice card guy?
I play card games, yeah.
What's your favorite card game?
Sheep's Head.
Sheep's Head. Never heard of it. In the chat, what's your favorite game? Sheep's Head. If I'm going board game, I'm loving Risk.
Yeah,
I'm loving Risk.
If I'm going board game, I got the game cabinets right over there. I forget what we have, but I do like Monopoly. Yeah, I mean, my son likes Risk a lot. Probably Monopoly if it was a board game, but favorite card game, Sheep's Head. If you ever know what Sheep's Head is, go look it up.
Look that up.
Aaron Rodgers played Sheep's Head. It's a game of Wisconsin. It's the official game of Wisconsin. I actually played at work with friends that we've played for like years, like 15 years. You get hooked on it. There's a video that Aaron Rodgers was in a locker room clip, and he was talking about so and so and blah 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 in the weekly Sheep's Head or the daily Sheep's Head game. And even Aaron Rodgers plays Sheep's Head because everybody in Wisconsin plays Sheep's Head.
I saw Bowman Brett loves euchre. I used to play euchre all the time with my friends. I played a lot of games over the years. Catan's a game that I didn't play much that I really like, that I would like to play. I used to have, before the pandemic, me and my friends would usually have like a Saturday, Sunday, like 4-player game day and just play games all day. I haven't done that for a long time. I need to get back into that, but yeah, man, the games are fun.
Yeah.
What do you think? You want to talk about a little product?
Yeah, let's talk some 2023 product. I mean, I know this is Bowman release week. We've already seen Trenchcoat Guy made an appearance yesterday on Striker's channel, giving him a hobby box of Bowman a little early. I've seen a couple of people open jumbos because I think Fanatics actually sent them already. Did you get yours?
You know what? I did not get mine. Moderator Stu told me to check, and I forgot to check my my Topps account to see if it shipped. But Topps was shipping those out already to some people.
They were. There was a couple of YouTube videos up where people got them early, and it wasn't influencers. It was just random people who had ordered them on the pre-order, and they got them already. I didn't order
my orders now.
I didn't order any of it, and honestly, I opened a fair bit of last year's Bowman, but I think I'm gonna skip it this year. I don't know. I might sit that one out. I don't like what they did with retail. I mean, obviously blasters are probably your easiest to hit numbered cards, but they still printed a lot more than last year. And I don't know. I'm trying to stay disciplined. Obviously, I went heavy on Update. I'm going a little heavy on Stadium Club Chrome, but I just don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll change my mind when I see a few boxes broken into, but I'm going to go pretty light on Bowman this year.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what it's like too. I mean, dude, you watch Striker's box and he pulls 2 oranges, 1 auto and a base, and you're like, wow, this is crazy. Mine hasn't been processed, by the way. It's processing, but it hasn't been shipped. But it's like, I like the design. I don't love it. I don't hate it. Bowman's Bowman.
Yeah, Bowman is Bowman. I don't like so the prospect cards look okay with that like circular pattern at the bottom. I don't like the way the base cards look, that bulky section at the bottom. I just think that looks really ugly. I don't know. It's not my favorite design. And I don't like that they put borders all the way around the card, which means they probably can't get centering right. That's how they allowed it to cheat on it, really.
This is a pretty good comment by thecarddeal.com. Are you able to pull that up? I actually think this is a really good comment. Not one single product in the past 5 years or more for all Bowman is lower in value. You cannot buy a single product for less than release date. That's pretty incredible. And I'm not gonna, without even checking, I'm not even gonna argue that because every product has gone up that I can remember. I mean, it's crazy.
I disagree. I mean, I kind of agree, but kind of disagree.
With Bowman, not on the other ones, but with Bowman.
Yeah, but you can get a hobby box right now. I mean, I know we're talking height of the pandemic pricing, but 2021, I remember those hobby boxes, just regular hobby boxes, were around 250 to 275. You can pick one right now for 130. So they've gone
Yeah,
down.
that's the one that could be 2021, but 2022 you're not. 2020 you're not. 2020 is freaking loaded. Volpe's
Yeah,
another dude we didn't talk about in the players, which is crazy. About to hit a
2021,
bomb.
2021 has to get some of those guys in the major leagues. Really, it's like you said, Austin Martin, Blaze Jordan, we're not doing too well. That really hurt the value of 2021 Bowman. They were the big guys. Now there's some guys in there that will end up in the major leagues, but right now it's just there's no like studs in that
Yeah,
product.
you still got to be a little more patient. Um, Bowman First Edition is still available on the website for 280 a box. I did not buy any.
I didn't either.
I kind of wanted to, but I didn't buy any. Did anybody in the chat buy any? Again, it's 280. It's still on tops. I mean, the autos are tough pulls out of those, and they're foils for the most part, except for the autos, I believe. I didn't even check to see the autos. Last year they were chrome, so I'm assuming they were chrome. But there is some products on Topps website. Strikers like in the Archives Signature Series. I've kind of stayed away from those in the past, but
Yeah, those single lottery ticket type products aren't very. I don't know. They're not for everybody. Obviously, one of ones, they have a lot more of them in this year's product, I think. But, Lucky Peter, the Japan cards. Yeah, I think they look really sweet. Actually, I completely forgot
yeah.
the product. Those parallels look pretty beautiful. Not going to lie, that would be a pretty fun set to put together for a modest price.
Yeah. It's again, I think we talked about this last week. There's so much stuff. I mean, there's so much. And it's hard to really like pick what you want to buy. And we could go on and on about every product, but it's tough to it is tough.
It's tough to play the game of whack-a-mole and try to, cover all the bases. You feel like you want to be patient, pick a product you like and go a little bit more heavy on it and just, take it for what it is, move on. I'm always on the lookout for those Topps exclusives. Maybe not the Bowman First Edition, but the next one there. I mean, don't overlook that, whatever that is next. Probably see Bowman Sapphire at some point. Maybe I don't buy any real regular Bowman, but I buy a couple Bowman Sapphire boxes.
Bowman Sapphire, my suggestion with Bowman Sapphire, if it's 10, buy the 10. Buy the max of the Sapphire every year of Bowman. That's one that it will go up. It depends on what they price it at too.
Well, that's a great point. That is a product that almost always doubles in value almost the same year. Like I remember buying the one box. I think I bought one box. They were hard to get last year. I bought one box and I sat on it for like 6 months. And I think I needed some money for the National so I could buy some Giannis cards and I ended up selling the box. I don't know what was in the box, but I sold it. I made twice my money. But
yeah. Dude, you doubled up, make it on, and move on.
I mean, basically, I was looking to buy Giannis PSA 10, and I was like, would I rather open this box or rather buy the Giannis PSA 10? I'll buy the Giannis.
Dude, buying singles can be the way to go. KC Carcadex, speaking of the Japan version, got a video dropping soon. It's a goodie. Oh, baby.
KC has
KC
I hate to like single him out, but I sent him something that hopefully he'll enjoy.
Heck yeah, baby.
Because he gifted us those boxes that one time. I figured I owed him. So I was like, I need to pay him back somehow. So I'll pay it forward. So I got my PSA order back, and I was like, I think one of the cards in there probably be better in his collection than me. So
yeah, I can't. He's been doing some awesome videos, and I sent him a message the other day, asked him when he's going to go live next. He's kind of waiting on his phone, or his issue with his internet or whatever. Because I went through that same thing there for a stretch. I updated my phone too, and my video quality was absolutely terrible for a couple weeks stretch. I reset my internet, I reset my phone. It was weird. I don't know what happened, but it was funny because I didn't even associate the update of my phone to the bad quality until
Mm.
he said something. And I, like, literally right after I updated my phone, the quality went down. And I'm like, what happened? I didn't do anything different. And knock on wood, it hasn't been too bad, but yeah, first world problems with technology. You got any other product stuff to talk about?
Well, I know we got Heritage coming soon. I saw some screenshots the other day for what that product will look like in the 1974 design. Not my favorite design, but I can't wait for next year's Heritage in the 1975 design. It's actually one of my favorite designs when I was a kid. I mean, that was before I was born, but that 1975, I always think of the George Brett and the Robin Yount rookie card. That's like an iconic Topps flagship set. When they do Heritage finally in that, that's what I'm talking about. Might actually buy a lot of that because I like that design a lot.
Yeah, I mean, there isn't a set that typically that I don't like. I used to buy Heritage, Gypsy Queen, Allen and Ginter, Chrome, regular paper, Bowman, you name it. I used to buy it all, but I kind of have cut a lot of that stuff out with grading because sometimes Heritage is tough to get. It's a tough grade with those paper stocks. Um, but some people love this. I don't. I like open product not knowing much about it. I like the search and the hunt afterwards because it makes sorting fun. Like
Mm-hmm.
they've made these products dummy proof by flipping all like with Series 1 this year, they put SSP really big on the back. Um, when I first got back into this, I loved like going through and looking at Cardboard Connection and seeing what the codes were and looking and seeing if I missed stuff. I'll never forget. I there was a Clayton Kershaw SSP that I missed opening up regular flagship from like 16 or 17, and
Mm-hmm.
that literally sat in a box for 5 years. And
Mm-hmm.
then during well maybe not 5 years, like 4 or 3 or 4. I went during the pandemic. I'm going through all my cards and I pull out an SSP of Clayton Kershaw that I didn't know I had. Um, I kind of like the digging deep. So they've made Heritage dummy proof. They've made Gypsy Queen dummy proof.
Yeah.
Um, they put the action variation. All you have to do is check and look. Oh, action. I don't like that, but I still love the sets. I think the sets are amazing. The autograph, the numbered autographs, the red autographs are
I,
super cool, especially if you can pull them.
I will tell you one thing though. At some point in the year, I need to. I hope we get a preview of what the list is for the products that are going to qualify for the national like wrapper redemption. I know Heritage is always on that list, so if you get a good price on it, go buy a case of it. I think it's usually current year products, not like prior years. Like I don't think you could go buy a box of 2021 update paper, a case of it, and get 12 wrapper redemption cards or packs. That would be great if you could, but I don't think that would be the case. But
Yeah,
that, I hope we get that preview because then products like that, the only way to actually like entice me to buy a lot of it would be buy the case for a real good price going into the national to know that I'm getting 12 of the wrapper packs or 16 or however many are per case. Because I saw a lot of people do that last year. You can bring you don't have to buy it on site. There's no receipts or anything shown. You just have to literally bring it with you. So I brought a box of Gypsy Queen and I brought a box of the Platinum Anniversary. Oh, that's another thing. We got Platinum Anniversary coming out this week.
I totally forgot
2022.
about that. I
That's
forgot about that.
I think the release date is the 26th or 27th, so that should be coming out this week Wednesday. For the
And
right
that's coming out on the
price,
same day as Bowman. That's insane.
it's a great checklist because it's everybody we wanted from 2022. So we know those products are pretty good.
Oh my,
This is
oh
probably the
my gosh. It's like, you're just like throwing this at me in real time. I'm like, am I gonna buy some of that or am I gonna hold
I don't know.
off?
I don't know. I mean, I would almost be completely off of it except if the price is right. If a hobby box is like $100 or less and the quality would be good, I don't think it would be the worst product to buy. But because I think the Platinum Anniversary probably have guaranteed autos per box, but the light boxes, I mean, it really depends. I haven't seen any published odds on that. Hopefully, the Topps website maybe publishes odds. Like we're getting a preview of that now that I think we wanted that for a long time, and we saw with Bowman they did it. We saw with Stadium Club Chrome they did it. We've seen with other products. I think they put the what's the Dynasty up there. I mean, obviously there's not much to that, but it's good to see that. Maybe we see Platinum Anniversary. I'd have to go check. I don't know if anybody in the chat has that on the.
There's a bunch of people saying it got delayed.
Got delayed.
I would definitely buy some hobby at the right price. I will not buy in retail that product. Personally, after seeing this year, 100%. I'd buy some hobby.
I would buy hobby only, but and even at that there's a lot of what ifs with that. If they printed less, and I see the odds of pulling something is not that bad, and if the QC is good and if the price is right, then sure, I'd consider
it. Again, new year, so much stuff coming out. It's so insane. It's just crazy, man.
I'm trying to look up odds quick to see if I can find it. I don't think it's there yet, but maybe.
You know, here's another thing somebody put in the chat that I'd have to scroll back up to see who put it in the chat. Mentioning Target is going back on to either limiting or locking up the product because of this Prism basketball. I wonder if they had issues again.
Well, when you see products like that, I mean, you should always treat them like you do Xboxes. Don't treat like the regular card section like Xboxes, but when you see something like that, the moment that SKU comes out, it's completely oddball and it looks like it's short printed. What do you think's going to happen? Everybody's going to want that. So yeah, I mean, make it special. Like as far as the limiting, don't limit, the amount of Series 1 people can buy. That's dumb. Right. That'll just create a bunch of extra stuff on the shelves and they'll have no room for the restocks. Not to mention the Prism Monopoly. They don't even put it in the card section. They put it on
that was back in the. That was 1 year. I'm trying to think. No, that was 2018. So in 2000, John, I don't know if you were buying any back then, but in 2018, I was looking for Bowman Megas, and I couldn't find any. And they weren't putting them in the card section, and they were coming in the big red shipping, and they were hanging them back in the toy section. And once I found that out, man, I went to every freaking Target. Nobody knew they were back there, and I was just, well, back then, not many people were looking for them, but I bought so many Bowman Megas of 18. It's crazy. That product, Bowman Megas are awesome. And that was, I think they might, in 18, they might have been $14.99 for a mega box.
Holy cow.
I don't know if it was, at one point they were cheap. At one point they were $14.99, then they went to $19.99. But I think in 18 it might have still been $14.99. I'd have to look that up. But imagine $49.99 last year. Crazy.
Carddeal.com is correct. Always do the online. A lot of times chasing store to store, in-store products. I don't know. You got to know when the restock days is, which by me, it's a Monday for the store nearest me. And if I can't get there on Monday at 11 for the hot product, I'm never going to get anything. So I'll just skip it all together.
Yep. Agree 100%.
Yeah.
So to go along with this topic, I was watching MLB Network, and they've had a segment on sports cards. They've had like a Topps promo commercial on there, and not just for like 30 seconds, but like a whole little clip talking about Allen McGinter and sports card collecting, having some MLB stars on there from the past. I mean, Fanatics is really, Topps of all these years, they have never advertised their products anywhere. And now Fanatics is.
not even a radio, not TV ads, nothing.
They've just kind of status quo, put it through there. And here, Fanatics is actually putting out commercials on TV about Topps baseball products, and it's awesome. It's awesome to see, man. Like, it was cool. I'm like, they were doing a whole segment on Allen Ginter of like talking about what that set is, and like, wow, that's crazy. But I found that fascinating as I was watching it because it really caught my eye. I had the game muted, I unmuted, and was listening to that segment. But it was pretty cool. But what else you got tonight, John?
Well, carddeal.com has a question. He wants to know when my next food challenge is. So,
Oh, baby.
yeah, so 4 weeks from this coming Friday is the Friday before Memorial Day. I've got a donut hole eating contest. It's a pro contest in Newcastle, Indiana. I expect Joey Chestnut will be there. I expect Jeff Esper will be there. I expect Mickey Sudo, Nick Weary, Barley Weaver. It's going to be a stack contest. I just want to better my total from last year. Last year I did 90. I'd love to do like 100, 125 donut holes in 8 minutes this year, so we'll see. I'm training.
I want to see you crush it.
I started ramping up my training today. I'm 5 weeks out, so I knew if I didn't start now, I was going to be behind. Usually I need about 3 weeks to prep, but give it a little extra. Me doing daily capacity training, and got to increase my jaw strength. That, donuts actually, they'll wear you out. That will wear you out. So, but yeah, it's a tasty contest, even though it's the same flavor over and over again for 8 minutes, and it's a little sugary. That's a very grease sugar heavy product. But yeah, that'll be fun.
I've got 2 things on that. One, you've got to get Joey Chestnut on here. You got to be like, Joey, we need you on Batter Up. Come on, baby. That's number 1. Number 2, you got to qualify for Nathan's. If you qualify, I'm heading out there on July 4th. I'll be front and center. I'll try to butt my way up to the front. I'll be your number 1 super fan up front. ERB Sports.
Yeah. It's it's pretty sad that Nathan's is coming up, because I saw on the MLE calendar they just posted a qualifier, and it's May 13th down in Orlando, Florida. There's no way I can make that schedule work. I'm hoping they do a couple more, but they're going to have some. They did Orlando, Florida. I'm hoping they do a Midwest one. I will try to go to it, and I will give it my best to qualify. Qualifying for Nathan, so they've made it very, very, very tough. But never say never. You just never know who's going to show up, and you always got to be ready. So for me, I know my limitations when it comes to hot dog eating contests. I know what usually trips me up, so I got capacity for at least 20. That's not a problem. It's just a matter of sticking with it and getting in a good rhythm, because hot dogs are a very rhythmic product to eat. It's very techniquey, so you got to practice a lot. You can't go into a hot dog eating contest like you can donut holes and expect to do well. Even if you have the same capacity, you'll do better in donut holes just because they're easier to eat. Hot dogs are hard to eat, especially the Nathan's one. They put the natural casing, and they're usually like dried out as all get out. They're like, it's like gnawing on shoe leather. Not that I know what that tastes like, but it's just they don't go down as easy as you'd like. So, yeah, you really got on jaw strength on that one.
It's crazy, man. What other updates you got? I didn't have a whole lot for that. I just had the couple products there, and
I just got a couple more products. I got a couple more topics to touch on. One, PSA grading special. I know both you and I sent in one order apiece. I'm sure people in our chat sent in orders under the $16 special for the 2022 and 2023 products. Here's the one thing I have a little trepidation about. I think the gem rates are going to go down for this product. Even if we screen cards as well as we always would, we have, every time they run a special, the gem rates always suffer. The gem rates always go down at least 10 to 20%. So I tried to screen cards that I absolutely thought would have chances out of 10 and didn't try to take any, guesses in like I did in the last order. I don't know about you, but after the last couple of orders, I was having a hard time down selecting for cards that I would screen and say I want to send, because if I'm not opening a ton of product, if I had cards that I didn't want to send in last order under $19, I don't know that there's a wave of them that I'm sending in under 16. I don't know. How about you?
Yeah, there's a couple. It hasn't changed a ton. Um, there's a few cards that I'm sending now that I didn't last time. That $3 does make a difference, but it's not like huge. Now, if that was $10, there I would be a lot more aggressive.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
no,
if
no
they
doubt.
dropped them to 10, there'd be a lot more cards. I'd be aggressive. Um, Another thing too, what Ken, who's a viewer, he's had a sub that's about ready to pop. It's his first ever, and he seems like he's reluctant to see the grades because he's worried. And I've become immune to the good and the bad. On my account, I have subbed over. I counted them up. I've subbed over 2,000 cards on my account now. I've gotten immune to. I'm just hey, you're gonna get liberal graders who are easy, and you're gonna get a guy every now and then that's really tough.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's gonna annoy you, but as a realist, you're just like, okay, I'm gonna sub more. Who cares? I made my money on this order. Maybe I broke even on this one, and I'm moving on. So I kind of treat it a little differently. I'm also like between Eddie and T Mello who sent cards in. I've
Mm-hmm.
seen their subs come back. I'm more liberal with my cards than they are. I know they're really like, I mean,
Strict.
Eddie's really good at looking over. Um, I kind of send some borderlines. I send borderline cards in that I believe in, but I'm not sending junk borderline cards. So I do like that special for $16. I'm opening 2022 product now to try to get a few more cards to send because I'm going to put together another order pretty soon.
I'm gonna put together another order under the $19 tier, because I had such good success, and I'm hoping I don't like jinx myself here, but the last order I sent in under the $19 tier, the ultra modern stuff, the stuff from 2022, I didn't do very well on, but I did do really well on a stuff that was like 2018 and prior. I've got a bunch of Currys and other, De'Aaron Fox cards that I've been sitting on raw cards for the last couple of years. I'm going to go through, I'm going to give them a really, really good scrub. Not literally, but, visually. And I'm going to see if any of them make the cut to send in and snag. I'm going to see if we can snag 10s on like half of them. Because as a 10, some of those cards are very, very rare.
Oh yeah,
And
and
I've got them
as
wrong. So,
as nines, you're not losing money either. That's kind of like when I'm sending in a card, I'm trying. Hey, if I get a 10, you're gonna make a little money. It's a premium. If it gets a 9, hopefully you're getting your grading feedback. Like that's the goal with me. I'm not losing money if I sub them. But
yeah.
that's a good call. I mean, dude, just from experience, man, anything prior to 2020, the the sub rates were really good. And guys and girls, if you're watching this, if you're thinking about subbing any cards, do not sub any HFA cards. Do not sub them. That's my. I looked at the pop report for the HFAs the other day,
Mm-hmm.
and dude, there are. I mean, I didn't run the percentage, but they are not getting tens. I mean, it is
Well,
hard to
and
get a 10 on those.
then I probably just jinxed myself because I actually did send in my Spencer Torkelson. That's
You're
the
gonna get a.
last one I'm sending in. I
You're
took a
gonna get a
look
9.
at I and I'm okay with that because now he's playing well again. I was trying to catch timing on that one. I was so sure I wasn't going to send it in, but then I looked at it and I looked at it compared to the other two 9s I have. The Spencer Torkelson is better than the other two. So I think it's a 9 at the worst. Maybe it has a slight chance at a 10. It's those two black corners on the bottom. When you
Yeah,
flip the
yeah.
card over, that almost always that's what dings the card. Nothing else. And
It's
and
the
it's
combination of the front and back. One foils are really tough to grade to begin with, and
right.
then the back with those corners. So it's like the double whammy on those cards.
Yep.
I sent a handful of them in, and I'll have to go back and look. I think I had one that got a 10, but after looking at the pop report, I scanned a card and then I looked at the total number of HFAs graded last year,
Mm-hmm.
which was like over 2,000 total of all of them, and
Mm-hmm.
it was like 380 PSA 10s. I was like, okay, I'm not sending any more of these because that's a brutal percentage to get a 10.
It is, but if you get lucky and you do get the 10, you know you've got a golden ticket there.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, it's so rare, right? It's like
If it looks really good,
the Curry die cut I just sent in. There was Carlson Cards who sends I watched his video earlier. I don't know if he ever watches your stuff, but if any of your viewers watch Carlson Cards, he subs a lot from PSA. He was going through his last sub order. He had a die cut of Kevin Durant in like a purple from 2017 Select, the exact same die cut pattern of the Curry version I just sent in. He got an 8, and he said they probably saw it was a die cut. They gave it an 8. Maybe, maybe not. I sent in that one. I thought for sure I was going to get an 8, and at best I would get a 9. I got a 10 on it. I mean, that's a lottery ticket, right? I mean, I didn't.
yeah.
It's not $1,000 card, but still, in a 9, that's probably $150. In an 8, it's $100, and in a 10, it's like $300 to $400. So it's a pop 5. So it's very rare. So would I send it? I could have easily made the same logic of they don't give out 10s for this card, but you never know, right? Sometimes you just take that chance.
I've been a little more. It's weird because I'm usually pretty conservative with a lot of stuff, but I've sent in a lot of cards over the years that you're like, maybe it'll get a 10, and I've had some of those get 10s. So it just, again, it's kind of like whether it's school or college, you have that professor that just is super hard to pass their class, and you hope to avoid taking their class, you know? And some guys and girls, it's an easy A, and you hope your cards go to that person. Because I've had those orders. I had an order that I feel like I've been pretty consistent over the since I started subbing my own cards in 2020 and actually looking at them really good. Prior to that, I was just sending stuff out because it was so cheap. I mean, dude, you were grading cards for $8. Who cares? You know, you're like, if this thing gets a 9, you still make your money back.
That's
but
true.
I've been pretty consistent of what I send, and it just some people. It's clearly you get some people who are really easy, and then others are. I've had one man that order. It was real tough, and somebody there at the last card show, he came up and he said, "You know what?" He goes, "What I've been doing is if I have 200 cards that I'm subbing, I will make 4 different orders for it. Same service level, same price." He said, "I'll put 50, 50, 50, and 50. I'll pack them all up, and I'll put them all in the same box going there. But they're 4 different orders." And he said, that way, I don't get crushed on all 200. He said it kind of equals it out, and if you really want to dig deep into the PSA grading, which I don't really necessarily want to do, I think grading is the biggest sham in sports card history. That when you get 10s, that they're worth that much more than raw. I just think it's pretty ridiculous, and I play that game, but it's the truth, man. Especially when you look at PSA 10s compared to other stuff, the premium there's a reason I grade with PSA. I wouldn't be able to open all this product if it wasn't for grading cards, plain and simple.
Well, I think that's the case for a lot of people, right? Because if the market valued raw cards more and not graded cards, you would get your chance to grind your money way back that way. Or if you're just infinitely wealthy, but not many of us are. I'm not. You're not. I know many of your viewers aren't. But yeah, I mean, I agree. It is astonishing sometimes how much of a premium they'll pay for a 10 versus a 9 or versus a raw. But it is what it is, right? It's a market. You're buying and selling, and yeah, sometimes you just you play the game. you pay the quarter, the merry-go-round goes around and around, right?
I don't mind that at all. That's the part I don't mind, but it's every company, people will bag on PSA, people will bag on BGS, people will bag on every company.
Mm-hmm.
But there's been those stories of every company where you crack a card out and resubmit it somewhere else and it gets a higher grade. That happens both
All
ways.
the time.
And
Yep.
again, it's very subjective. And I know PSA and I know every company's trying to be consistent. But I mean, there's been cards and I'm not one to like crack stuff out and resubmit it. That's just
I've
not
never done that. I mean, I know we had one viewer here ask the question or say that he'd never submitted. I can empathize with you. I've only submitted twice. And the first time I'd ever submitted an order was right around Christmas time. And that took a lot for me to finally like get off the schneid on that. I'd never submitted anything to grade. You get used to it. You get acclimated to the process, and then you like that level of trust, like I'm shipping this thing with stuff that's in my possession. I am sending it out and I hope I get it back, right? That takes a little bit of a leap of faith if you've never done it before. But then you do it a couple of times, you're like, oh, okay, I get how it works. I get how I can take care of the packaging. I get how I could insure it. I get how how the process works of getting it there, following it through the system, the protocols, the documentation, everything like that. And then you sort of break down those mental barriers of like the worry, right? And I'm getting past that. And it's like, okay, like you said, once you submit and you already prep the next order, maybe when the other one pops and you're getting some sales back, because that's that iteration, right? I mean, that's how dealers do it. It's no different.
Yep.
But that sort of rhythm and getting comfortable with that is what I'm getting used to. And, I'm sure I'm going to have an order or two that goes in and it gets 90% nines. And I'll be like, oh, I'm never submitting again. Well,
You will.
You're going to, because the next time it'll be 60% tens and you're going to have some really good cards. And it all works out where you've just got to be consistent. You've got to learn the evaluation techniques. You got to learn the criteria like the back of your hand. It's like anything. It's like any tool or any skill. Once you learn it, you kind of like know. Like I learned a lot from the first order of like sending in. And it's like, oh shoot, yeah, I really screwed up that order, right? So, but it went okay. But the second time around was better, and the third time around hopefully better yet. So we'll see.
Yeah, dude. I like this discussion about PSA and the grading. I know we didn't intend to go here, but for people who are watching, this can be beneficial. Even if you don't have the funds to do 20 cards, maybe you send 5 cards out to a group submitter who is on like one I would recommend is gotbaseballcards.com. They will even review cards for like, I think it's like $1 or $2. So if you have 5 cards, just send them in. Maybe you get those 5 cards back, make a little money, do another 5, and then build up a bank. The one nice thing about doing it yourself, and this is what I didn't know, I really didn't know this. I was pretty fortunate that I have some friends in the hobby that helped, but I was sending my cards out for $8 to somebody else, just getting charged $2 more for it, costing 10. And I wasn't even looking. I was just sending them out. They were subbing them, and I was paying them up front, and then I would get them back. When you have your own account, I didn't know this. Trading Cards and More, he's like, dude, do it yourself. He goes, you don't have to pay for it till it gets charged.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, really? I'm like, so you're not out that money for, at the time, it was 3 months, 4 months, and then it got to a year out. I can't imagine. I would not have been doing what I was doing during the pandemic, sending 150, 160 cards out in each order if I had to prepay up front for those cards. Because I was doing that the first of every month. Getting in a cycle to where you can manage it, to grade a few cards, make some money, hold your PC cards,
right,
can be really beneficial to being able to purchase more and building. It's like that building block, You open $100 worth of product. Maybe you pull an X-Fractor of Wander. You grade it. It gets a 10. You sell it. It paid for all you opened, and maybe it even gives you a little bump for the next, your next purchase.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I've been able to build through this, and it's a fun game. And I forgot who did a video of the comparison charts of like the PSA graded cards compared to the other companies. I think it was Chris Sewall. I don't know his channel name. I forgot.
Chris Sewell,
Yeah, the
baseball
card
collector, investor, dealer in that order.
Yeah, I think he recently did a video of the comparisons of PSA
Yeah.
10s, 9s. If you get a chance, we should link that in here. That's a
It
really
was
good video to go watch.
Well, BGS 10s were like so much higher in terms of resale value, but every other one was like 50% of what a PSA 10 benchmark was. Kind of across the board. Yeah. I mean, SGC is fine. I mean, I used SGC under the $9 special for Series 1. I've been selling through some of the cards I got back. I graded 10 cards, some of which I shouldn't have graded, but I got, 60% gem rate. I was pretty happy with that. And I sold through about half the cards. So it's fine. I got my $100 back already, and I got some cards. I'll probably PC a couple of them, but not too bad.
The thing with SGC, man, if you can get a product early,
yeah,
let's say, for example, let's say you just got Bowman like you did. There was a few people who got Bowman. If you could get those cards in the mail already and get them to SGC and get them graded and get them back, you'd be the first one to have any graded cards of SGC of Bowman. And there is a premium on that.
That's true.
There's a really good Stu put a link to that video, I believe. Pretty certain it's that video. It's a good watch. And then Dan has a good question here. I like this one too. Dan says, would you start with some of your top tier cards that way, or should you start with some mid tier cards? This is my opinion. If it's your first time and you're looking to build a budget, send stuff, whether it's mid or high tier, that you're willing to sell. If you're not going to sell them, there's no rush to get them graded, in my opinion, unless you just want it graded. Maybe you put in a few PC items with your order, but I would start with any high tier or mid tier that you're looking to sell, because there is a premium on those big time. It's kind of a personal preference. But if you're just not in a hurry and it's a PC item, maybe you need, if you're doing 20 cards, you might need a card to add into it to get 20 cards on the minimum for the special. If you're doing it yourself, then maybe you throw in one of those cards, Yeah,
that's fair. I mean, I used the same logic the last time. I think I put in 15 or so of the 20 cards were things that I would probably want to sell. And then 5 of them I was just putting in for me that I wanted to get back. And it's funny because those are the ones that are now the most valuable out of that order. And now I'm not going to sell them. So it's like, I could get more money back for my order by selling these, but I really don't want to, because that's not why I sent the card in. I sent the card in because I wanted it slabbed, and I wanted to see if it was a 10. I wanted to see if somebody would evaluate it as a 10, because then I could always have it as a 10 in my collection. So, yeah. Like the Giannis 75th anniversary, the Curry die cut I mentioned earlier, the Goldschmidt auto. I'm not selling those cards. I'm just going to keep them. But
yeah, the carddeal.com, I kind of like this. 75% to sell, 25% to keep. And like every order, like the last few orders, the recent years, there weren't many Cubs cards I wanted to grade. But like this year with Suzuki, I was sprinkling in some Suzuki stuff for my PC, and I didn't care what it graded. I got a couple greens, a couple red 9s, and it's like, I don't care. I just want them for my PC. Got some short prints, but I like that 75, 20%, 25%.
Yeah.
And then I kind of like this special because I thought the prices of PSA were going to come down under $15 a while ago, and then they went up to 19, and now they're down to 16. I think they're trying to keep it in that 15 and above.
Yeah, now that they have multiple offices though open, it's going to put downward pressure on the market as a whole. You could look at the PSA website right now and see where they're grading most of the cards, like where the whereabouts of when you ship stuff. So they want to grade more Funko Pops. They want to grade more other these novelty items. They actually go to the New Jersey office, and then the stuff to going to California or going to the overseas office, like, obviously like the TCG cards, they keep running specials on that. So I wonder to some extent when they've grown their capacity though, they've got to they built out this sort of this infrastructure. They have to keep the big fed. So that can only help us long term, provided that that they stick with having the capacity they do. They didn't build all this capacity to lay a bunch of people off. As as many of the other videos, Neo Cards and Comics had a really good video about that a long, long time ago. They didn't build this to tear it all down with layoffs. They didn't. Nope. So they'll find that market price that is palatable to the most number of people to keep the warehouse full. And now that they have all these extra sites, there's more pressure on them to keep it full. So
Yeah, that's for sure. They got investors. It's crazy. Um, as we're on this grading thing, well, a couple weekends ago, 2 weekends ago, when my bulk buyer came by my house to buy a bunch of stuff, I sold him all my Julios that
all of
were
them,
all of them. Sold them all.
all the graded
When
ones,
he
ungraded.
all the base, I had a whole box of ungraded Julios.
Oh, that was 200 of them or whatever.
The 200 of them, I sold them all to him.
Whew. Oh.
And he knows I grade. He goes, why? He goes, why haven't you graded these? I said, dude, I said, I didn't want to take the risk that I send this card in for $15, $16, and it gets a 9, and then I'm losing money. I'm gonna have to get basically 4 out of 5 10s to make sure I don't lose money. I'm not that confident in my skills, but that's the kind of like. And then I said, it's kind of like that hot potato.
Mm-hmm.
You have this hot potato, and it's a base card, and yeah, they're going for 45, $50. But are you going to get out of your hand before it burns you?
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to go down to, I don't know. I have not looked to see what a Julio PSA 10 is going for. But I could have gone through there and probably dug out 20, 30 that could attend and sold them. But I just didn't want to be that guy. I had other fish to fry. I really do think if you're sending cards into PSA, try to pick stuff that in a PSA 10, I try to stick to this, and it doesn't always. At least if a PSA 10 is $75 to 100,
Mm-hmm.
that if it gets a 9, it's worth about 15. That last video, Chris Sewell said, it's about, if you get a 10, it's about worth about $100 on average. And then if it gets a 9, you're still not losing money, which I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
I try to be like $100 or more, but that's not easy. It's not easy these day and ages with cards. You gotta have some good cards.
Yeah, you really do have to have some high quality cards that have low pop to send in or have a lot of hype. I think it's too risky to send in Julio base cards. I personally do. Unless you want to screen them all and look at centering and down select and put into sub piles and look at corners and then try to cherry pick and be like, okay, these are cards that have a 90% chance at a 10. Okay, send these 10 in. I'll take a chance on these 10. And if they come back, this is my sample of the rest, right? I would be trying to, I have 200. I'd love to grade all 200, but I know I'm not going to get 200 gems. But if I send in the best of the best and I send in 10 and I get 50% gem on those, then I don't need to worry about the rest. That already answered my question, right?
The one thing that I miss about grading a bunch of base cards is you have so many of them. You can look at, like, I remember I sent in 100 Tatises, and you can look at every Tatis and you can see, oh, on this one, the glove is touching the edge of the card. I'm not sending that one. Oh, there's a little corner. Like, after you look at so many, you start realizing this one's a 10, that one's not going. This one's a 10, and That's what I do miss about having many of those cards because it did make it easier to get tens.
Mm-hmm.
And when you only have one of a card, I also think it fools some of the graders too. When you only have one card, and like I'm trying to think of a specific card, but there'll be a player and it looks like a speck on the card. It looks like there's damage to the card, but it's actually dirt from the player that's kicked up in the middle of the card,
Oh,
and it's
I
on
think
every
I have
card.
that. I had a Wander vintage stock like that. I got a 9
Yeah,
on that card, and I swear that card had the spec on it, and it was part of the card because
and I think it
it
fools.
was also on the. I had another one from Purple. I had the Meyer Purple. Had the exact same spec. I was like, that's
Like,
literally on the card. Like that's part of the card. So
I think it fools the graders, and if you have more of them, like the base card, they realize, oh crap, I screwed up. And
yeah,
I would love to know if they catch it in the first couple, if they go back and redo the grades. I doubt it, but they might.
they might.
Um,
I already sold that one Wander PSA 9 vintage stock. I got $110 for it, so it's fine. I would have loved the 250. I probably would have gotten a 10, but
hey man,
I didn't
profit
lose.
is profit, and move on. But
Yep. You want a box battle
want to
time?
open some cards? Data Club Chrome, guys. You open any?
This is a sprint today because
Let's
we
go.
got one box and it's 4 packs. It's not like update where we gotta wait forever. I got a scissors behind me. Hold on.
Okay. I like this product a lot, guys. I think you know it. It's enjoyable. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We got a little off the rails, but I kind of enjoyed talking that PSA grading or grading in general. I enjoyed that.
What's the box battle record? I forget. Did I win last time? It's like 11 and I'm 11 and 13 or something like that.
I think that's right. You've won a bunch. I lost my sticky note that had the records on it.
I've never
I had it
beaten you by hitting a really massive card. I've always beaten you by hitting doubles. Like just a standard yeah, I hit a single. All right, if I get a hit, I'm gonna save it for the suspense.
I love this card right here. Greg Maddux with sliding across the Cubs logo.
I do like that card.
So that was one of my X-Fractors. Dude, I love these X-Fractors.
This guy looks like
It says hit that J-Rod X-Fractor. Still haven't hit that thing.
Robbie Ray, Austin Meadows. That's a refractor. Zach Wheeler, Max Kepler, AJ Alexi. Nothing doing in the first pack.
So far, Mike Trout Beam Team is my best card. At least I believe that's the best card. I hope that's not my best card. I'm hoping I get a hit. Bo Jackson on the back.
Lucina,
Vladdy.
JD, Urias.
Here's another guy that's playing some good ball. Josh Lowe.
Will Smith, Munson, and Jock Peterson.
Well, John, I'm down to my last pack, and a Beam Team Mike Trout is my best one.
So the bar is pretty low at this point.
Oh, we got a hit in this one, baby. We got a hit.
I got a hit as well. I'm going to save that.
Nick Lodolo, rookie. And it's not a good hit.
No, I got a chance to beat. Oh, I got a chance to beat you.
Ian Anderson, green. That's
Valade,
not a good hit.
Kirby. Oh, rookie X-Fractor. Oh, it's a pitcher. Josh Winder. Dang it. Teoscar Hernandez, refractor. Mitch Haniger. Alec Thomas, base. And Edgar Martinez. All right, I'm down to my final pack. It does have a hit in it. That's a blue. What'd you get? Did you get a blue Ian Anderson?
A green Ian Anderson out of 99.
Okay. What would you consider your best card?
I don't know if that numbered card is better than Mike Trout Beam Team or not. To be quite honest with you.
Luis Heel, Eloy Jimenez X Fractor. It is a landscape card. Bobby's
Bobby Witt.
Another Josh
came to mind.
Sonny Gray. Ooh, I almost peeked. San Francisco. Logan Webb.
Logan Webb blue. He's a pretty good player, actually.
Yeah, he's a pretty good player.
Didn't he sign a contract extension?
I think so. He had a good year last year. He had he was 11-3 in 2021 with a 3.03 ERA. He's pretty good.
I'll tell you what, I like this product a lot.
All right, who won? Probably Brett.
I don't know.
Well, we both got a pitcher, but your pitcher was out of 99.
Out of green, yeah.
I got an Alec Thomas base.
You got another box sitting there?
No, I got one upstairs. Why, you want to do double thing?
I got one more sitting here, and I want to open it bad.
I mean, I'm destined to open these, but if you want, I can go double or nothing.
You want to do it? I'll do it.
I'll give it a shot.
I want to open this box bad.
All right, I'm gonna put it on mute. I'll be right back.
All right, he's coming back. We're doing box 2. Only one more, though. We're not doing any more than that. KC Car Connection, thanks again for that $9.99 dono earlier. Thanks for all the chat tonight. Thanks for all the thumbs up. Tracker's over here sleeping on the floor, snoring a little bit. Hopefully you can't hear him snoring. But man, what's the Sunday night baseball game tonight? Who's playing? Didn't even look. Probably go turn that on. Looks like Mets Giants in the 7th, 4-4. Yo, what's going on? 4-4. Let's look at the box score to that game.
All right, I'm back. Did
John
you
is
pull
back.
all your heat?
I did not pull anything. I was just shooting the crap and was looking at the Mets Giants 4-4 in the bottom of the 7th. I was just kind of looking to see. Home run Estrada. Home run Alvarez. All right, let's do this.
Come on, Julio.
Dude, I am due for a Julio X Fractor. I've gone through 2 cases without one. They're not easy pulls, man. I got 5 more to go in that case. Do a few more hits. I'm hoping for a few more hits out of that case to finish it off. And then Stadium Club Chrome is coming to an end for me. I'm going to save the hit if I have it early. Save it for the last back mojo.
MJ Melendez.
Ooh,
cool.
Nice.
Wisdom. Dahlbeck. X Fractor. Cardinals. Tommy Edman again? Really?
What's a Beam Team Julio going for? Base Beam Team Julio. Somebody look that up. I'm guessing $5. My best card probably right now. I'm going to save that one just because. Beam Team Julio. Wonder what that goes for in a 10. I ain't grading those because the backs look bad. But
Tyler O'Neill. I swear to God, this card looks like a cartoon. Looks like a comic book.
Got a Jeremy Pena on the back. Cool Nolan Ryan X Fractor.
Dang it. Starling Marte.
So Jeremy Pena base card. I would say
18
that
Lou
Julio's probably still better than.
Gehrig, Hunter Renfro. Ooh, man. Pretty dusty box so far.
They're not easy, man, with that 400 card checklist.
No, they're not.
You go through some dud boxes, that's for sure.
Garrett Cole.
Jesus Lazardo X Fractor. You
Oh, I
basically
thought
get.
that was a Torque X Fractor at first. It's Javi Baez. Dang it.
Oh man,
I saw the hat.
Javi Baez.
I thought, I know the Torque looks like that. Piazza.
Okay, we got a hit, baby.
Jose Josiah Gray. You got a hit? Oh, man.
Got a hit. It's a green. Another green. Lamont Wade Jr. Lamont Wade Jr. That's not that one.
Is that auto?
Ooh, man, it is an auto. I really wish it was a better player, but Gavin Sheets hasn't been playing terrible. A green auto. Not bad. I mean, it's not awesome by any means.
I got a wave.
Oh, snappy. Is
It's
it a
a
base
base-
wave or insert wave?
It's base wave.
Oh, crap. That could be big.
It's not. God, what a bad player. Come on. I got a
Luis Robert again?
Lance Lynn on the wave.
Oh, the bass player. The
Yeah.
bass.
God,
I mean,
that is so.
dude,
I mean, those are
I'm
like
pretty happy with this.
30. Dang it. Why couldn't that
Pretty
be?
happy with this Gavin Sheets out of 99 auto.
Ah,
Not
Right.
bad. I'm pretty happy with that. 2 greens, 2 boxes, 2 greens. But man, what a product. If you guys, girls watching, if you're at a Target or a Walmart and find a couple of these, if you can buy a box, grab a box. This is a really cool looking product. Chrome Stadium Club, baby.
I got a lot of
I've
rookies.
used
I will say that.
I've used up so many sleeves, man, on this product because I've been sleeving every product.
It's the QC is a ton better on this product.
Oh, I agree.
Like
I've found very few cards that are just jacked up.
I found very few print lines, very few off-centered cards. They're all darn near perfect. The only thing I'd gripe about is they're bowed.
Yeah, the way they're packed.
Yeah,
They
but
should've
everything
put one of
else
those
about this
inserts that
product
held 'em.
are really good. Like
Agreed.
this is what Chrome should be.
That's for
I didn't do
sure.
so bad, but I mean,
That's fun.
I don't know what my best card is. Probably if a Lance Lynn wave is the best card, that's pretty pathetic. Just because they're
Probably
so tough to pull.
like $10. I wouldn't doubt if that's $10.
The Lance Lynn,
Yeah. Which is
Uh,
crazy, but
I don't know. I think it's like $5 probably. Let's see, Lance Lynn wave.
I guarantee it might be the only one on there. But well, you want to wrap it up, buddy? That was a fun
Yep.
episode. We've gone a man. We went an hour and 25 minutes tonight. 2 boxes. We talked about PSA grading, talked about a few products, talked about some MLB baseball, talked about John's eating coming up. That was a fun night.
Couple
What do
bucks.
you got on the plans this week? You go, what videos you got coming out?
I've got a pre-taped video about Prism Monopoly. I opened 1 box. I have I'll probably do an NBA playoff update. I probably will do a couple of Stadium Club Chrome boxes in single kind of quick form. And then anything else I can think of. But yeah, try to keep at least a couple videos out per week. Probably do 5 this week, 5 or 6. So appreciate it.
Yeah, John's been crushing it. Make sure you check out ERB Sports. He's been putting out some good stuff.
We're almost to
That was a lot of fun, man.
30 subscribers. But yeah, I got nothing else.
Awesome, brother. Well, thanks again for tuning in. Hope you guys and girls enjoyed. Until next time, peace.
See ya.